One wedding cost more than some countries earn in a year. $600 million spent on a single celebration. But here is what no one tells you. Not all of these fairy tales had happy endings. Some ended in divorce. One ended in tragedy. And yet, the world could not look away. Because when celebrities, royals, and billionaires say, "I do," the price tags become impossible to believe. Gowns worth more than houses, performances that cost more than most people earn in a lifetime, and venues that only the ultra-wealthy can dream of. These are not ceremonies. They are productions designed to be remembered forever. These are the most expensive celebrity weddings of all time. Let us begin with Hollywood. On May 24th, 2014, Kim Kardashian married Kanye West in Florence, Italy. The venue was Fort de Belvedere, a 16th century Renaissance fortress where Medici princes once walked. Now it belonged to Kim and Kanye for one unforgettable night. The total cost reached $2.8 million. Kim wore a custom Givenchy haute couture gown valued at $500,000. Andrea Bocelli performed during the ceremony. The wedding cake stood 7 feet tall. 200 guests were flown on private jets to Paris and Versailles for pre-wedding celebrations. The marriage would not last. They divorced in 2021. But for one night in Florence, it looked like forever. That is what $2.8 million buys. A perfect illusion. In December 2018, Priyanka Chopra and Nick Jonas did something different. They held 2 wedding ceremonies at the Umaid Bhawan Palace in Jodhpur, India. Total expenses reached $2.5 million. For the Christian ceremony, Priyanka wore a custom Ralph Lauren gown featuring 11,000 Swarovski crystals and 2.4 million hand-embroidered sequins. But the showstopper was her 75-foot tulle veil. So long it required multiple assistants to carry. For the Hindu ceremony, she changed into a stunning red Sabyasachi lehenga. Fireworks lit up the Jodhpur sky each night. This was not just a wedding, it was a fusion of East and West, tradition and modernity. They created a template for cross-cultural celebrations that couples still follow today. In November 2021, Paris Hilton married venture capitalist Carter Room at a Beverly Hills estate formerly owned by the Hilton family. The celebration spanned 3 days with costs estimated at $3 million. Paris wore 6 different designer gowns throughout the weekend. Her main Oscar de la Renta wedding dress became instantly iconic. Guests enjoyed elaborate floral installations, gourmet catering, and multiple reception themes. The after-party was carnival-themed with a Ferris wheel. Paris Hilton invented the modern celebrity brand. Her wedding was not just a celebration, it was a coronation. 20 years after she became famous, she finally got her fairy tale. But when royalty marries, the stakes become something else entirely. On July 29, 1981, Prince Charles married Lady Diana Spencer at St. Paul's Cathedral in London, and the modern era of mega weddings was born. The ceremony cost $48 million at the time. Adjusted for 2026 inflation, that is $166 million. 750 million people watched it live on television. Diana walked down the aisle in a gown with a 25-foot train adorned with 10,000 pearls. When she stepped from the carriage, the world stopped breathing. When they kissed on the Buckingham Palace balcony, they created a template every royal wedding has followed since. 3,500 guests attended. 27 wedding cakes were prepared. The world believed she was living a fairy tale. She was, for a while. The marriage would later end in tragedy, yet the wedding itself remains the most expensive royal celebration in British history. And 30 years later, her son would walk down his own aisle. On April 29, 2011, Prince William married Catherine Middleton at Westminster Abbey. The total cost reached $33 million. But here is the staggering detail. $32 million went to security alone. Not flowers, not music. Just making sure no one got too close to the kiss. Armed forces, police snipers, and counter-terrorism units protected 1,900 guests and millions lining the streets. Kate's Alexander McQueen gown cost $434,000 and was kept secret until she stepped from her car. 8 full-size trees were placed inside the Abbey. An estimated 2 billion people watched worldwide. It became one of the most viewed events in television history, but his brother Harry would push boundaries even further. On May 19, 2018, Prince Harry married American actress Meghan Markle at St. George's Chapel in Windsor Castle. The total cost reached $45 million. UK taxpayers funded $40 million just for security. Meghan's Givenchy gown was elegantly minimal, but her 5-meter silk veil stole the show, embroidered with flowers representing all 53 Commonwealth countries. A gospel choir performed. American Bishop Michael Curry delivered a sermon that electrified the chapel. It seemed like a fairy tale, but within 2 years they would step back from royal duties and move to California. The $45 million wedding became a prelude to rupture. Some fairy tales do not survive the palace walls, but when billionaires marry, there are no rules at all. On June 22, 2004, steel magnate Lakshmi Mittal's daughter married in what Guinness declared the most expensive wedding in the world. The cost reached $55 million to $60 million. The venues were the 17th century Château de Vaux-le-Vicomte and the Palace of Versailles. The celebration lasted 6 days. Mittal rented 12 private jets to transport 1,000 guests to France. The wine budget alone was $1.5 million. Each guest left with a Louis Vuitton gift bag containing engraved champagne flutes and silk scarves. For 6 days, Mittal essentially privatized French history. The wedding held the world record for years, until someone decided to obliterate it. On June 27, 2025, Amazon founder Jeff Bezos married journalist Lauren Sanchez in Venice, Italy. The venue was San Giorgio Maggiore, a 16th century Benedictine monastery. The celebration cost between $46 million and $56 million. Guests included Oprah Winfrey, Leonardo DiCaprio, Tom Brady, Queen Rania of Jordan, and Bill Gates. Security was intense with private boats patrolling the waters and armed guards at every access point. Bezos could have spent more, but he chose restraint by billionaire standards. The wedding was not about proving wealth, it was about celebrating it privately. But even $56 million looks modest compared to what came next. Anant Ambani married Radhika Merchant in a celebration that lasted 7 months, from December 2023 through July 2024. Mukesh Ambani is Asia's richest man, worth over $100 billion. When his son got married, he did not throw a wedding. He threw the most expensive celebration in human history. The total cost reached an estimated $600 million. Rihanna performed for $6 million. Justin Bieber performed for $10 million. Katy Perry headlined the final reception. Guests included Tony Blair, Mark Zuckerberg, Ivanka Trump, and virtually every major Bollywood star. The pre-wedding celebrations alone cost $300 million. 6,000 guests attended across multiple events spanning 3 continents. This was not a wedding. It was a statement of power, and no wedding may ever match it. Here is the strange truth about these celebrations. The more expensive the wedding, the less private the moment. Diana had 750 million witnesses. The Ambanis had 6,000 guests. At some point, it stops being a wedding and becomes a performance. And maybe that is the cost no one talks about. The more you spend, the less the moment belongs to you. Kim and Kanye's $2.8 million wedding ended in divorce. Diana's $166 million fairy tale ended in tragedy. The Ambanis spent $600 million. Only time will tell if it was worth it. Because money can buy spectacle, but it cannot buy happiness. From Princess Diana's balcony kiss to the Ambani's $600 million festival, these are the most expensive celebrity weddings of all time. These celebrations defined eras, set trends, and proved one truth. When money is no object, love becomes spectacle. But spectacle fades. What remains is whether the love was real. If this changed how you think about love, money, or fame, subscribe. We go inside the lives of people who live differently. Now tell me in the comments, which wedding would you actually want to attend? And if money were no object, what would your perfect day look like?